Blame Truth here, and everything's moving really fast. It's almost as fast as this matchmaking, which has already found me a match after the previous one ended. So quick, I didn't even notice it, and then immediately, the next match is underway. It's so... Guys, you do not understand how strange it is to experience that after 6 years of waiting at the bare minimum like 30 seconds to find a lobby where an algorithm is trying to fuck me in the ass with no lube. I'm gonna open up a Blamewiser, but not necessarily one to relieve the stress, but no, one for some celebration, a little bit of celebration. Let's pop that sumbitch right open, and let's just get right on into the meat and potatoes here, because I got some good news, I got some bad news. I can actually play the game and review it, and, well, quite frankly, I got a lot I want to get off my chest. So I guess I should start with the bad news and the most pressing matter before I talk about the gameplay and actually what I think of Black Ops 7 from a core perspective. I'm not gonna lie, with no SBMM and good connections and fast matchmaking times and maps that aren't the size of a postage stamp is actually pretty decent. It's wild. Now, there's some stuff people aren't gonna like. There's some stuff I still don't like, but I'll cover that in a bit. Stay tuned, okay? Stay tuned for that. I'll timestamp it if you want to skip right to it. But I gotta talk about this. They're already trying to bait and switch this SBMM thing. And my biggest fear with this change here, my biggest fear is that a playlist quite simply will not be good enough. I fear they're gonna try to skew the data or bullshit us or do something to have both the hand-holding algorithmic manipulative matchmaking and this reduced SBMM mode. I fear they're going to try to do both, and it's just not going to work. And I saw some people talking about another game that did this, and just look at this, and you can see the results before they happen in Call of Duty. Check this out. D-Hawk says, only above average players will choose non-EOMM, which will result in it feeling just like EOMM, especially after a few months. Destiny 2 tried this experiment of choice. Non-SBMM felt great for a week, then quickly devolved to being worse than SBMM unless you are truly elite at the game. It's a scam and don't fall for it, otherwise you will regret the purchase 1 to 2 months post-launch if matchmaking is your main concern. Non-SBMM can only actually feel like non-SBMM if it applies to all modes because the matchmaking is slave to the quality of players that populate it. Well said, my friend. And I mean, I could predict this without Destiny doing it already. I think anyone with a brain could predict this is what's going to happen after, I would even say 1 or 2 months. I would say like maybe a couple of weeks. And it's so weird that they're doing this in the beta and it still feels differently. It still feels very, very different. Like this match, this is not something I could do in a normal EOMM lobby unless I was sweating my balls off after already tryharding, to unlock the best shit and run meta shit. So the fact that I'm rocking a default class, first time I'm playing this map, doing this well, it's a miracle. Well, not at this point in the gameplay, but eventually you will see the score go way up. And I'm sorry I didn't play the objective because I don't care. I'm trying to check out the maps, get a feel for the guns, get my aim down, shake off the rust of not playing FPS for a while. You know what I mean? Like, this mode allowed me to do that. It's just insane to me how different the game feels without blatant manipulation. I mean, it's not insane. Obviously, it's going to feel different, but it's insane to me that people put up with this for 6 years, and we're just now getting it changed because of everyone complaining, players dropping, and Battlefield 6. But they're not testing this properly. You have to take away the skill-based matchmaking, engagement-optimized matchmaking modes entirely to actually get the data on this. They skew the data. They literally skew the data to gaslight the player base, and they are doing it again. And I'm calling upon you all not to participate in this fucking experiment at all. This non-SBMM mode, and that's pretty much what it is as far as I can tell, because matchmaking happens so fast there is no possible way on God's green earth, as cheap as they fucking are, they could ever match based on skill this quick. There's just no way. There's no way an algorithm could do it that fast. It takes fucking ages normally, and that is for a reason. As far as I'm concerned, there is no SBMM in this mode, but you need to take away the regular modes, the regular matchmaking modes, to properly test this. Instead, they decided to go in the opposite direction today. I will cover what they did in just a second after a brief word from this video's sponsor. I mean, I'm just going to lead right into it because it's Critical Soap Company. You guys might have heard of it, Cheeky. I have partnered with them, and it is just the best soap I personally have ever used. It's all natural ingredients. I have been scrubbing myself with the Touch Grass, which is one of my favorites, but they also sent me several more to test and try out. Great natural scents, great natural ingredients will keep you clean and fresh. Legitimately the best soap I personally have ever used. And I tried it out like no risk or whatever. And I'm like, I want to partner with you guys because this soap's amazing. So you guys can go to usecheeky.com/blametruth and you'll get 10% off your order. They just dropped a limited edition October special soap, Sunday Scaries, vanilla bean ice cream, and it's got poppy seeds in it for extra exfoliation. But yeah, hit up my link in the video description, pinned comment. You'll get an extra 10% off. Check it out. And trust me, you guys are going to need that soap if they go through with this double matchmaking experiment. It's not going to work. You're going to need that soap to scrub the stench off of your sweaty body. If they go with an EOMM mode and then just a designated try hard mode, it's just not going to work. Here is what they did today, though, and I just cannot believe it. Like, I knew it was too good to be true. I praised them yesterday. I genuinely praised them. And not 24 hours later, they're already walking backwards with it. Just look at this. You might have noticed this at the start of the video, but they took away the no SBMM search and destroy mode and replaced it with the same old bullshit matchmaking mode. Nero says, they added SBMM back to S&D, what morons. Ink Slasher pointed it out as well, and he says, they just changed open search and destroy to SBMM search and destroy. Do we get mad yet? Matt replies to him, to his credit, and says, we're trying to give players what they want as much as we can, limit how many playlists we have active to focus population and data, get solid testing, data, and feedback on matchmaking. Matt, I know you're probably just getting paid to say that. I know you're probably just skirting around the issue. I get it. Like, you're just kind of the messenger here. You're in the David Vonderhaar position. I understand that. So with all due respect, I must tell you that for the past 6 fucking years, we have given you all the data you could ever ask for about your matchmaking system, the same old matchmaking system that came about in 2019 that you still are trying to push on us. You do not need to do this unless you are trying to weasel out of the one fucking good change you guys have done in 6 years. Can I get an amen there in the comments section, please? Nero had this to say, by the way. I know people love to play search, but for the future of the game, don't load in. Completely ignore every playlist that has skill-based matchmaking. Don't give them data or a reason to keep it in the game. Playing today has been insane. Instant queue times. Great connections. I feel like for the first time in 6 years, I'm actually getting better. 60 plus kills a match. Topping objectives. Finally getting a feel for the guns and the maps. Not being punished for improving. It'll all be for naught if they keep SBMM in Call of Duty, so don't give them a reason to. They should be doing the opposite. They should be taking away the matchmaking system entirely and funneling everyone in to the open portion. If you want to have like a disabled sort of like, you know, super low bottom tier for people that, again, may have actual disabilities to protect them like you did in the older days, that is completely fine. But for everyone with opposable thumbs, normal, you know, human reaction time, normal people, for every one of those people, keep this lightning fast matchmaking with good connections where people can play more than ever. It's so refreshing getting into matches this quick, just rapid fire. Smooth connections, fast matchmaking, organic matchmaking. The only issue I had here was some extrapolation or whatever on the left there while switching sides, but I didn't notice any lag during this actual gameplay. So that is great. I haven't experienced this in years. I do want to talk about the gameplay now, though. I want to cover everything. I want to give you guys my honest opinion. Hopefully, you buy what I have to say over everyone else in this community, because I am not getting paid a cent by Activision. Never will. The only time they're going to pay something with my name on it is a contract to a hitman. Anyway, let's get right on into it. So I've gotten to play several matches now. I've gotten to play 3 of the maps, not all of them, and I've got to kind of mess around with the movement. Now, some people are going to hate this game no matter what. Either you have Black Ops 6 PTSD. I'm actually kind of lucky because I didn't play that shitty game. Black Ops 6, for my money, is one of the worst video games. It's honestly an insult to call it a video game. It's one of the worst video games I've ever played in my life. Honest to God. So this, while similar, it's basically just, this is Black Ops 6 if it were good, with the no skill-based matchmaking. Obviously, skill-based matchmaking, EOMM, engagement optimized matchmaking, makes every problem that much worse. It amplifies every bad thing about the game. But I want to talk about what I like and what I don't like. So the movement. The movement here is quite divisive, and to be completely honest, I think it's too much. I am just not a fan of Omni movement. I am consistent. Like, I accidentally do this here, by the way. I didn't mean to backslide like that. It looks cool, I guess, but I don't like it. I didn't mean to do it. I find myself accidentally wall jumping as well. I guess I need to go turn off the assist or whatever. I'm not a fan of this much movement. I think it needs to be toned down to what it was in Modern Warfare 3, just a forward slide, no Omni movement, but that's not going to happen. Let's be honest. They're focused on Omni movement, and they're going to go like walk it back for MW4 because that's going to be that game's selling point, so they have to keep it in, basically. But yeah, you can still have jump spots, by the way. I know you'd have to change the maps if you changed the movement and took out the Omni movement and the jumps and the wall jumps and whatnot, but you really wouldn't, because you could just have designated jump spots, and that would be okay. Designated jump spots that, would be very, very noticeable and highlighted maybe on the map in certain portions. I think that would be totally fine. Otherwise, I wish this game just had like Black Ops 2 movement with a forward slide. I'm not a huge fan of the movement. I can get used to it. I can stomach it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it's a little bit better than Black Ops 6, though, for what it's worth. It's not as clunky feeling. I'll give it that. Regardless, though, the maps. Obviously, the maps are a night and day difference. It shouldn't even be a contest. Black Ops 6 has the worst maps in any FPS I have ever played in my fucking life. Of the 3 maps I played, though, I don't know, they're okay. I find them to be a little bit too vertically biased, and with the jumping, it makes sense. But it feels like, first impressions, there's a bit too many ways and areas to get shot from. It's that Modern Warfare 2019 kind of map design where you cross the street and you get like 5 different ways of getting shot. The end screen here, the winner circle, much, much quicker and less obnoxious. Although this operator looks like Ronda Rousey mixed with a baby. Looks like a weird UFC fighter, full-grown baby hybrid. I don't know what's going on there, but it's hideous. And I really wish they would change her face some way. The actual gameplay itself, I mean, it's okay. It's I don't know what it is. It seems to lack something that makes Call of Duty, like, satisfying. It's not super satisfying to get kills. I don't know if I'm spoiled from X-Defiant or even, like, Battlefield 6, but it's just more satisfying to get kills in Battlefield 6 and X-Defiant, to me personally. I don't know what that is, but maybe it's the small font when you get a kill in this game. I'm not really sure, but it's not super satisfying, if I'm being honest. That's just kind of my gist of the actual core gameplay. The spawns kind of flip pretty quick and they could use some work, but Other than that, I do want to talk about this because this is something I wasn't even going to delve into because of the matchmaking. I wasn't even going to bother playing to even experience this stuff. But I do want to talk about this, and this is no bullshit, okay? Hopefully you trust me when I say this. I have something very positive to say about this game. Here it is. The overclock system is actually the best thing they have done. I don't even know since when. It's been so long since I could actually praise something new they have done, but this is something I am going to praise. I guess a broken clock is still right twice a day, huh, motherfuckers? But no, the overclock system is fucking cool. This is a cool idea. For those that don't know, your score streaks, your equipment, and your field upgrades can all be overclocked. I don't know if they can all be overclocked at the same time or if it's just one overclock per class or whatever. But regardless, you can overclock it, and it has two different secondary effects you can add on to your equipment, score streaks, and or your field upgrades. It is a really fucking cool feature. This is what I want to see in Call of Duty, and I want to see good ideas stick around. The problem with this franchise is that, there's 3 different devs, and they're all kind of competing against each other despite being on the same engine now. So they'll add stuff in and then take it away the next year, only to bring it back like 6 years later as a quote-unquote new feature. This is an actual new feature that I think is good. Can we please get this in like every game? You can call it something different. Don't call it overclocking. Call it, I don't know, Josephing or something in Modern Warfare 4, whatever you want to do to make it grounded and military themed or whatever. But this is a cool idea. I like it. It is the best thing they have done in ages, honestly. But it goes back to that thing of we're not going to see it. Like, we're not going to see it next year. Infinity Turd is not going to do shit with this cool feature. And this is such a big issue here. Let's say they remove skill-based matchmaking entirely for the full game. Let's say they do that, and Black Ops 7 is the best Call of Duty we have had in years, in like 5-6 years since they added this stupid matchmaking system to start with. It will be for nothing because next year they could either bring it back, they could tweak it. We have Infinity Ward, which is the worst fucking developer of all time, in my opinion. The only one worse than Infinity Ward is LJN. If you've ever watched Angry Video Game Nerd, I'm sure you've heard him call them the laughing, joking numbnuts because they are just terrible. But I swear to you, Infinity Ward has been complete trash since Weston Zampella left in 2010. And I am speaking facts. Joseph and his merry band of door-loving morons, I'm just not a fan of. I think they're terrible. I don't think Modern Warfare 4 is going to be good. So, like, this is the issue with these yearly releases, man. I'm just so tired of it. I want to like this game. Can you tell? Can you fucking tell? Can you guys tell that I am a fan of Call of Duty at heart? But I simply cannot get on board with this stop, start, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back approach they keep taking. If they don't take out skill-based matchmaking, engagement optimized matchmaking entirely for the full release of the game, I'm just not interested. I am just not interested. I will not be purchasing it. I'll be playing it for my initial review for you guys, of course, with the free Game Pass voucher I scored, but I will not be buying it and I will not be playing it throughout the year. I'll be covering it and playing Battlefield in the background while I do, but like I'm just more excited for Battlefield 6 for the simple fact that it's not a yearly release. Now, I know EA wants to transition to that. We got to tell them, nuh-uh, boy. I think this shows, like this change in Black Ops 7 shows that we have the power. And I'm going to circle back to that, by the way. If you are playing the Black Ops 7 beta, let this be like an official announcement. Clip this portion of the video out and send it to everyone you know. Send it to your friends, your family, your grandmother, your dead great-grandmother, your ultra-dead great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, and spread it far and wide like a venereal disease. And I'm going to say this. Do not play the skill-based matchmaking playlist in Black Ops 7's beta. Do not do it. fuck their data. If you want to compete this year, I mean, I shouldn't even be having to say this, but if you actually want to compete this year, Call of Duty against Battlefield 6, if you actually don't want to just get cock stomped, and they keep getting cock stomped, by the way, I'll show you something here in just a second, then you need to remove it entirely. And then, do you know what we have? Do you know what we have if they remove skill-based matchmaking and engagement optimized matchmaking entirely? We have a war on our hands yet again. This reminds me of back in the day when we had Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Battlefield Bad Company 2 coming out around the same time. Being active around the same time, man, there were so many wars in my comment sections. I would post the MW2 video, I would post the Bad Company 2 video, and everyone would just like go to war with each other. That shit is good shit, and you know what I'm talking about. I even have a shirt somewhere, way too small to fit me now, I bulked up, but I had a shirt somewhere that was literally like Bad Company 2 is better than Modern Warfare 2, and I'd wear that shit out in public, and people would come up and talk to me about it. I'm not kidding. It was like friendly banter, you know. None of this, I disagree with you, so I'm going to shoot you stuff people do nowadays. But it was that. And that's what I typically agreed on, by the way. I wasn't really a fan of OG Modern Warfare 2. I know that's crazy, but I'm not a big fan of One Man Army Noob Tubes not getting patched because Bobby Kotick and Activision were scumbags back then and made half of Infinity Ward quit out of protest, so we never got that update that actually fixed that. I was more of a Bad Company 2 fan. But regardless of all this, I want to show you guys this article from Insider Gaming to close this out here, because this should really put into perspective how down bad they are. From Insider Gaming, from Tom Henderson, popular leaker, are the Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7 Steam number comparisons unfair? Online data of Steam's player numbers has revealed that Battlefield 6 had 5 times the number of players during its open beta than Call of Duty Black Ops 7. During its peak, Battlefield 6 accumulated 521,000 plus concurrent players on Steam during its open beta and 334,549 during its closed beta. Comparatively, Black Ops 7's open beta reached a peak of just 99,000 and some change yesterday, but COD's numbers also include those from Black Ops 6 and COD Warzone. In addition, according to Twitch Tracker, interest in Battlefield appears to significantly be higher than that of Call of Duty, with Battlefield 6's beta reaching a peak viewer count of 868,520 on Twitch. In comparison, Call of Duty peaked at just 378,150 in September for COD Next and only 204,419 during the beta. However, with these numbers circulating on the internet, is there an unfair comparison? As rightfully pointed out by those online and Activision itself in a previous statement to us, comparing Steam numbers between the two games could be an unfair comparison, as Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is available on various platforms, including console, Steam, Battle.net, and Xbox PC, whereas Battlefield 6 is available on console, Steam, and EA Play. It's splitting hairs at that point, especially considering, by the way, that this thing coming up right here defeats that argument when you look at the fact that Black Ops 7, and this is a big one, Black Ops 7 is also on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One still, and yet Battlefield 6 is still beating it for pre-orders on the PlayStation top pre-order page. Also linked to us from Activision was the PlayStation Store page, which, although it features Battlefield 6 at the top, indicates that Black Ops 7 editions are listed right behind and are by no means struggling in what has become a fascinating battle for the top between both games. It's only fascinating because it's getting cock-stomped by Battlefield 6. We've never really seen this before, especially from Battlefield. They've always been number 2, but this is the year where, we got them to take out skill-based matchmaking. Even in the beta, that's a huge fucking thing, guys. I'm actually kind of pissed because they could have done this years ago with Battlefield 2042 if that game didn't suck ass. Their competition that year was Vanguard. Vanguard. This Vanguard, I just took this screenshot. There's one view, there's one guy playing and one guy watching. What? It's so dead. You lost to this 2042? What are you doing? Your competition was Vanguard, and you still fumbled somehow. Like, we have to blame EA somewhat for the fact that we got 4 shit Call of Duties with EOMM, SBMM still in them because they fumbled the ball so hard with Battlefield 2042. You guys realize that, right? Regardless, though, guys, it seems by all metrics that Battlefield, like literally everywhere we can track it, whether it's the PlayStation Store, whether it is Steam charts, whether it's Twitch viewership, Battlefield 6 is crushing Call of Duty this year. They need to get their shit together, stop jerking us off, stop jerking our chain, stop just teasing us, remove EOMM and SBMM entirely, and then you actually have some competition. And look, that doesn't make Black Ops 7 a good game by default. By no means does it, because I was just thinking, would Black Ops 6 be a good game with EOMM and SBMM removed? No, I don't think so. I think it would be a giant piece of shit as well, just less so. But regardless, it is like the only way they can compete this year. You know, Call of Duty has ripped off Fortnite for so long. They want to be Fortnite Jr., Fortnite's creepy uncle, as Nero calls them. If Battlefield 6 gets all this attention and all these numbers by not having skill-based matchmaking, by not having dog shit servers, by not jerking their fans around and whatnot, then Call of Duty is just going to rip that off. We have seen that since Fortnite became the top game and kicked their ass. They just, they're not trendsetters anymore. They just follow what's popular. I still think Battlefield 6 is going to kick their ass, even if they remove skill-based matchmaking. But regardless, I would play both games if they did that, and I would actually, cover both games. It would be an exciting time. If Call of Duty can finally just say, hey, we're here to compete, I want to see both games thrive and, give us competition in the space again, because then everyone wins. I'm out of time, though, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, rating, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one. Oh, and by the way, do not play those skill-based matchmaking playlists in the Black Ops 7 beta, please. See you later.